Well, hello there. Um, an early one in terms of posting anything or talking at all, pretty much on the second day of a round of FLOT chemotherapy. So today is day 2, round 4. So I'm hoping. No wonder I look so exhausted. And chemo face is full on. Just looking at myself here on the screen. Chemo brain as well. So as I say, I'm dumber than usual. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, but certainly don't look it or feel like it today. Yeah, it's pretty rugged as expected, and yeah, dopey, very dopey today. Slept a lot, right up until I had to go back to the hospital and get the pump removed, the 24-hour last bit of the chemo removed, or the pump that administers that. And the surprise was they took the PIC line out at the same time. So I've had that in for 8 to 10 weeks. And it's nice to be sort of free or unencumbered. Didn't feel anything when they took out the 55 centimetre tubing. Not a problem. And then I thought that there was like a triangular sort of a little piece that they were trying to pull out at the end, and I thought, oh, what's that? And it was quite a two-pronged. They had to cut down the middle of this piece of plastic, and then there was a two-pronged needle, and on the edge of the needle, or each needle, they veered out to the right, so it sort of went like that and then splayed out that way. Most unusual, actually. I think that it was an anchor of some sort. It would have been about, I don't know, about probably that long, and at the end of it, as I say, it sort of veered out to the right each way. It was most unusual, and of course, yeah, it wasn't that pleasant, but certainly wasn't painful. Yeah, as I say, I'm just looking at my rather gaunt face. But apparently, with the chemo, it basically attacking any fast-dividing cells, things like collagen and other sort of natural biological things that go on in your face to sort of fatten it up and make it look normal and not gaunt or unhealthy. That's sort of being torn apart by the regime. Tunnel vision, massive, although it's getting less and less now at the end of day 2, which I'm hoping it won't. Hoping that's the end of that. I feel a bit uncoordinated. One thing I have experienced in round 4, which I haven't previously, is cramp. Everything is cramping. Everything except for these rather sticky out jumbo ears, and that's the cramp from different parts of my face, tongue, of course, things with the hands, all muscles in the legs. Yeah, very unusual. And it's not it's a funny sort of a dull, slow kind of a cramp that comes on, and then you just you can't do anything. It just sort of, your whole hand becomes kind of just caught in whatever. Just caught, and then it'll gradually dissipate, and you're able to get sort of use again. But that's very strange. Slept a lot today. Went for a little walk before I went to the hospital, which wasn't a good move because there was some bowel issues there again. Just very tired, so that's all there. And what else can I inform you about my happy demeanour and physical mental state? but yeah, just mentally, very, just absolutely all over the place mentally. Once again, the steroids are doing their job. I think that's what the mental issue is. It kind of, you want to be asleep, you don't feel very well, and you certainly don't feel very smart. But your mind is kept awake and alert, so therefore out of control. It's sort of like a runaway steam train, kind of looking for a station. It's got no control of where it's going, but it's somehow pumped and hyped up. And I guess that's to tackle any nausea or all the effects of the chemotherapy. So it's doing its job, but you just have to constantly tell yourself to calm down, relax. Don't think negative, silly thoughts about anything or anyone, mostly yourself. But yeah, certainly don't be too sensitive about things, because I know it won't last, but it's very hard to control at times. Very odd. What else? I don't know any other side effects to report at this stage. Eating slightly better. From what I read and they tell me, my everyone still seems fairly positive. It's a couple of weeks away before I get the new scans to deliver the actual verdict in terms of cancer shrinkage. It must have worked. Otherwise, this is what the experts are telling me. It must have worked because I'm able to get food through that. He explained it as like a donut, which is in that lower esophageal area here. Where the food is going through from the esophagus into the stomach. It's all involuntary, and that's the way it works. Any food that it goes down into that area, it automatically opens up, and that's when it knows exactly what's there, food or drink, and then lets it go through. So that hole, he said, it was like a donut, if you will, that's become very aggravated and swollen, and obviously that's the tumour, the cancer. So therefore it closed up. Now the donut isn't so fat. It's if the tumour has shredded or gone, then the donut becomes a very, very thin, which is what it was before, and then food can pass through. So that being the case, hopefully we'll get that information back, and that diagnosis, should I say. Well, hopefully the prognosis is good after an outstanding and positive diagnosis, and then 3 weeks after that we're into the operation. Between 4 and 6 weeks is fairly normal in terms of recovery before a big operation like this. So that's when mine is set for mid-July. So I've got to go right through June. It's actually so it is 6 weeks before this operation, but they seem to think that I need this rest. So, and I really do. It's going to be a major. But as I say, if they can get it all out, and the FLOT chemo has done its job, then the oncologist said he can't see why that they would need to do any further chemo after. We've done the adjunctive chemotherapy, and then we don't need, and then the post-operation therapy, he said, it would not be of any help to me. And of course, all the worst scenarios entered my head. What if it doesn't work, and this is no good, and the operation finds more, and all that. Well, it shouldn't be the case. Now it's just a case of giving myself 2 weeks to recover from where I was yesterday, which was attached to a bag for 5-6 hours, and then all during the night with the take-home pack, the take-home pump infuser. So it'd take 2 weeks to get over this thing, and then another 4 weeks of literally just solid recovery and strength and endurance kind of building up, fattening up as well, and not shocking so many people with my chemo face, which, gosh, it's just, I'm so sensitive. It's just so hard to, when people see you and go, oh my God, look at you, you've lost so much weight. Well, yeah, that's what happens, I mean, you just have to say, yep, I have. But certainly in the face, it's just not so plump and porky and fat, which is, I do look at myself previously and think, gosh, I was a bit rotund, which is probably a good thing. That was a fatso, old Billy Bunter, carrying that into this. Yeah. Anyway, not so Billy Bunter now. Now more sort of Simon Slim Jim. Body-wise, it's not too bad, but certainly in the face, I've just aged. But they say that'll come back, and if it doesn't, well, touch wood. As long as I'm still around to just like what I see. Not that I've ever been absolutely too crazy about what looks back at me in the mirror anyway, but you make do, don't you? What else to report? No, nothing else. So yeah, FLOT chemo, lower distal esophageal junction cancer, day 2, round 4, day 2. The worst is kind of yet to hit me, I think, because tomorrow is full of pills, should I say. Self-administering injection in the morning, more steroids, and then just a whole heap of anti-nausea, anti-sickness pills. So tomorrow's the last day of all of that, and then it's back onto just my normal regime of pills in the morning and pills at night, which I must check with them how long I need to take those for. But yeah, love not having the PIC line in here, which is great, and around here, so just, yeah, I'll get through a shower shortly actually, and it'll be nice just to have, not to wrap anything around my arm with blooming rubber bands, big plastic sleeves or whatever, so that's like a sleeve. And yeah, but if you've managed to listen to me so far, I do appreciate it, and I hope if, obviously, it's the sole reason of doing this is certainly not for me to look at myself or for any other reason. As I've said before, that I did find it comforting when I looked on the internet and found 2 or 3 people who have gone through exactly the same thing that I'm going through. In fact, I will be watching 2 of them tonight about their chemo round 4 with their FLOT, and a couple of the posts that each one of them left, because it's just it's very interesting to me anyway, how they coped. Yeah. So day 2, quite early on in the whole scenario, in the last round, but I will post again next week, and hopefully you'll see some difference in terms of my vim or my pep, because this is kind of the physical low point at the moment, and there's at least a good a good week or more to go, as I'm sort of descending into what is going to be quite a battle over the next few days. Hopefully not, and then come out of it, because I haven't entered into that sort of brutal illness, diarrhea, sickness, nausea, and tiredness part yet. I'm still kind of a little bit bolstered up by the steroids that they've been pumping in. But I can feel it coming for sure. It's like a cloud that's descending. It's awful. It really is. Yeah, it's just like it, as I say, the wheels are starting to start. That's one of the ferries I'm just looking at there over the balcony into the water. There's one of the ferries just when they come in, they ponk their horn 3 times, and when they leave, they do the same thing. There's 12 of them on a rotational basis that head out from here around the terminals straight out to all the islands. Blimey heck. They finish at midnight, thank goodness, and start at 6 a.m. And they let you know every time they come in. Yeah. Anyway, it's quite interesting to watch them. I'm not doing anything, just staring outside. Anyway, as I do, I tend to bauble on and on, which I could do all day and all night. So thank you for listening, and take care, and hope you're well, and we will report back in a week. Thanks so much.